Okay, so before we get to some of the weekend stuff, by the way, I like what you got going on there. You got no, it's a very like middle America John Mellencamp look. I like it. I like it strong.
Well, Mellencamp is from Seymour, Indiana. So
I did not know that.
Oh, come on. Everybody
fantastic.
Knows that. I need to take a drive through Seymour and just rip off a road sign, and that's the kind of thing I would have done in my teen. In fact, in the pad, which was the garage we had above my garage growing up, and I come from a big family.
You had a lot of stolen. That's like federal shit. I mean, I don't want to listen. I'm not looking
in today's world. Look, back in the day when there was no cell phones and there certainly weren't any cameras on the street, and we were hijacking a one-way sign because we thought it was kind of funny. So look, I don't think I could slip into Seymour, Indiana right now with my middle America look that I'm sporting right now, according to you, and steal a sign. So, but anyway, thank you. I think you
would stand out like a sore thumb there. Okay, but so on this day in 1976, and you remember 1976,
bicentennial.
Paul McCartney and Wings started touring once again. So here you go. I'm going to say something, and I'm actually being serious, and I can almost hear your response. I would submit that Wings is a more important band than his original band.
Than the Beatles. Oh my God. All right. So you are being serious.
Come at me. Come at me. And Denny Lane of Moody Blues fame, right?
Hold on. So you're calling it a more legitimate band? What is actually the claim that Wings is over the Beatles? Wings greater than Beatles. In what way?
Their live performances, some of their studio work. I think McCartney's voice got better. I think McCartney was more. He was obviously the person in the band as opposed to the Beatles, where he had to give off to John Lennon, who I happen to think was an incredible songwriter, but he was a pedestrian vocalist at best.
Just stop. I mean, I don't know that Lennon is ever held up to be one of the three tenors, but I do think when you think of the sum of the parts of the Beatles, they are so much more, and the whole is so much more than the sum of the parts, of which McCartney clearly is a very important part. And we've done this before, most important and least important Beatle. But look, Band on the Run, Jet. I mean, My Love. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on there.
Maybe I'm amazed. I mean,
maybe I'm amazed.
Venus and Mars and the Rock Show and the Jets. I mean, it's genius work. I mean, the Beatles wish they could have done stuff like that. I mean, Ringo was watching them saying, "Shit, mate, I wish we could have done this in our heyday."
Well, it's easy to pick on the Beatles, but I think it's impossible to really grasp the impact that they had on rock and roll. I don't think Wings did. And I think if you look at the Stones and you look at the Who and you look at so many other bands, and then bands like the Kinks that just completely ripped off the Beatles.
Ripped them off.
I mean, Ray Davies, man, I'm kind of a seller there.
Okay,
by the way.
so here you go. Watch me segue into the market, okay? Now, work with me.
I've been waiting because I'm running out of Wings material right now. Keep going.
So, the Beatles are important to the history of rock and roll, the same way that some say Amazon, the stock, is important to the broader market. I know you're looking at it. I mean, Amazon reported ridiculous earnings. Stock is down by $80, $85 as we're shooting this today on a decent, at least S&P tape. And you're talking about now double tops off that September level. Is Amazon telling the broader market something that clearly the broader market is not listening to, at least for today, Tim Seymour?
Well,
I posit it to you.
I thought where you were going to go with this, and watch where I go. If you remember when the Beatles came out with their own album, their own record label, what was it called? What was their record label?
It was Apple.
It was Apple. And I thought you were going to say that actually the pullback in Apple also
could have gone there too.
I take numbers that were so that to me is the story here, Apple or Amazon. But I think Apple is, they are the Beatles of rock and roll. And Apple is clearly where we look for leadership, both in terms of market. If Apple ain't working, the market's largely not working, and we all know the weighting component it has in the overall indices. So, what does it tell you? Well, I think much in the same way that, especially as the Beatles came somewhere near the end of their big run. So maybe right now we might be near the end of the big run. And in fact, they lost out to very different. First of all, the same listeners were suddenly listening to acid rock and much harder kind of classic rock. And I think in the same way that we're going to always see people listening to the Beatles, and we're also going to hear them listening. Those same people will listen to Zeppelin, and I am one of them. So in the same way that I can own mega cap tech here, today is a day that you want to own transports and industrials. And look at the move in FedEx and UPS. Yeah. Couple big upgrades today. And the question is, are these new bands too? No. No, in fact, I think there's a place for all of them in your record collection. And I think it's sometimes you're just in the mood for Love Me Do. And then there's another time, guy, that you know, it's the levee's going to break and just get out of the way.
So, you know, you remember when Robert Plant did, I think it was the Honey Drippers, that whole very forgettable. Tough. But I'm in the mood. I think I'm in the mood was a song off that, if you remember. It was a brutal song. And they played it nonstop. I wanted to rip my hair out. I think it was when we were in college, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm off by, but I got to look at the Honey Drippers just to see. I'm going to Google it while you sort of.
But if you're a market player, and this is what it comes down to, because you know, my buddy Rockhead growing up was a Deadhead. He had the knee-high fringe boots, the whole thing. Look, I liked the Dead in high school too, and in junior high, but I didn't adopt the full lifestyle. Okay, I didn't smell like patchouli oil. And I wasn't wearing tie-dyes, but I loved the music. And you know, Rockhead wouldn't tolerate me listening to other music, you know, and ultimately it leaned on the friendship, you know. So, I mean, I think you got a case here where a diversified portfolio, I don't think you're going to run too far away from the leadership that are Apple and Amazon. And I can sleep pretty well right now listening to Zeppelin, knowing that those guys just crushed it with their numbers. There's nothing about the tailwinds in their core businesses. So forget even the micro and market momentum. The 5G super cycle is very much alive and well. The services business grew 26%. In Amazon's case, the e-commerce world that they have dominated is only just kicking into maybe second or third gear. It's no way fifth gear. And the leadership they have, you're going to now see, and coming out of COVID, it's not that they pulled forward. It's actually coming out of COVID. I'm now going to buy all my consumer staples, possibly all my apparel online, which are things that people didn't do before. So rock and roll, guy.
All right. You know. So if I give you the name, I want to. This is a test. We haven't. This is not scripted.
And Luke's going to kill us. We have to be.
No, we're right there. Ernest Chataway. Ernest Chataway. Mean anything to you? Let's see what you got there. I had never heard the name in my life, by the way.
Ernest
just to keep
Chataway.
It real.
I mean, no, I got Ernest Borgnine.
I know. Great Ernest of all time. Yeah. No. So Ernest Chataway apparently was a original member of Judas
hold on.
Priest.
So William Demarest was Ernie on My Three Sons.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. But anyway. So
right. What do you got? I don't know what you're talking about.
He was an original guitarist for Judas Priest. He played in the Honey Drippers. I'm just looking up Honey Drippers. 81 to 85, by the way, Honey Drippers. Our poll question is more important band, Beatles or Wings? There you go, Tim.
I think it's important. Or best follow-up projects by stars of an earlier band. You know, they're both good. Guy, you are good, and I'll see you later.
See you tomorrow.